Hey, I'm Quinn Hambright, head football coach and athletic director for Charles Henderson High School. Please come out and join us for the C Spire Troy Cable Spring Classic, May 20th, May 21st, as we take on Lee High School Friday night, May 20th.
On May 21st at 3:30, we have Hillcrest versus Selma. At 7 p.m., we have Flomaton versus Greensboro.
Games will also be live streamed on Troy Cable, Channel 2. Be there.
Good morning and good morning to you, my friends, across the state of Alabama and into central and south Alabama on live coming to you from our studios in Troy, Alabama.
All over the world on
I'm Mike
Facebook.
Amos. He's Bill Rice Jr. and he's the guy, the guru of them all is Steve Camp, bringing you all the news you want to hear from our studio today. Here comes the first news coming in here. I know one thing, the big news is G.W. Long, as they won their first game and won it in overtime. Rice, what's the deal on that?
Overtime. Well, they call it extra innings in baseball, but the same thing. Well, it says they won 7-6 over Decatur Heritage.
Yes. I mean, they're up by 1, is that right? See, G.W. Long.
And it is at Oxford's Tarcola Park. They're bidding for their 17th state title.
Well, sure. You know, one of the things that about G.W. Long, they're also in the softball championships too. It's hard to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But again, the headlines of the Dothan Eagle this morning talks about they come from a high wind.
Well, I'm looking at, I thought the team they were playing was undefeated, and it doesn't even.
It's on the front page, I believe.
I know, but the story doesn't even say anything about Decatur Heritage's record. My point would be is if the team had not lost the game all year and then they lost, that you need to mention that in the story.
No, it's G.W. Long is moving fast. You can't find anything there, I promise you. Of course, game 1, G.W. Long 7, Decatur Heritage 6, and 9 innings, and that's a way to get after them. And now they're just one game away from a state championship, another state championship by G.W. Long. Of course, several other teams are in the playoffs, and we'll let you know about that. Lou Burns in softball championships. Congratulations to them. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got another winner. It is a softball winner this time, and Houston Academy has won the state championship in softball, so that's another big Wiregrass victory. So that's 2 of them with big wins already today, and we'll be talking more about it right here on our show, brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks on the bypass. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal, nobody, and we appreciate them very much. And we do Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. And with 14 locations around Central and South Alabama, you can't beat the quality service you'll get at First. Of course,
Well, I was looking, Mike. One team, we were going through all the teams yesterday on the handout Steve gave us, and there's one team in Alabama that's in the playoffs that's 30-0. I thought that was right. Decatur Heritage, but I found something else that says Decatur Heritage was 30-9.
A little misprint there.
Or maybe one of them might have been a misprint. Still, that team had played, and then G.W. Long was 32-8, so they both played about 40 games.
I know it. Yeah,
That's a lot of baseball this year.
And again, that was the first game of the best 2 out of 3 series. So Long will play today for the championship.
Yeah, if they win, they get it. If they lose, they go to a third game, which is all about pitching depth. If you ever get to that third,
no question.
Third game.
You're right. They had Decatur Heritage at 30-10 instead of 30-0, but it was a misprint there, and so they're one game away.
Well, what else is going on? The PGA Championship.
The PGA Championship's going on, and that's held in at Southern Hills Golf Course, and no Phil Mickelson, but other than that, anybody's in the tournament. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, great field. They have a threesome this morning that has some, I think Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, and John Rahm maybe.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Morning.
Mike Amos calling in from Grayton Beach, Florida this morning. Is it pretty down there? I know the sun's out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty all week. We had those horrible yellow flies that come out of the woods from the state park that attack you this time of year. Nobody ever tells you about the bugs down here, but they bite and they leave a welt on your legs. They hurt like all get
Well, somebody told me that y'all have a friend that has to actually leave the community and for a few weeks because of it.
No, for like several months, for 4 months out of the year, she has to leave because she'll go in anaphylactic shock.
Golly.
She could die from it. Yeah.
Boy, I know that's scary.
Yeah.
Where did she go?
She's from
Go back to Mississippi?
Greenwood, Mississippi, on the Delta.
Yeah. So that's how.
Little Richard had a song. I want to go to Greenwood, Mississippi.
That was a song he had.
Talking about anaphylactic shock. My wife was telling me last night that one of her best friends from Montgomery got bit by a black widow spider.
Oh, man.
And then they gave her some drugs or shot or something, and then she's had a reaction to that, and she is having an awful time.
Black widow spider.
She's got her face looks all paralyzed and droopy, and then she's got these terrible tremors.
These yellow flies are something like I've never seen before. Like literally, once they start trying to bite you, they will not bite you and stop biting you until you kill them. I mean, they bite and bite and bite.
Well,
literally, they fight you to the very end.
Well, are your little children being bitten?
Well, we kind of know the hours they're out. It must have something to do with my blood type and my skin too, because I don't know. Mosquitoes and bugs they love me, and they love little Millie too, my little daughter. They're afraid her and my wife are all right, but
well, can you put any kind of ointment on them to keep the bugs away?
Only thing you can buy is they call it cactus juice. Cactus juice is what they sell that everywhere down here this time of year, and it helps. But it's crazy. I mean, people down here on trails, I'll watch them walking, and all of a sudden I'll see them hitting their legs, and hitting their arms, and trying to get something off their back or their neck, and I know exactly what it is. Yellow fly attacking them.
Oh man, that's just I don't like stuff like that. That's awful.
It's crazy. I feel like when people are down here, they have no idea that it's always early May to the end of May, and then they go away, and sometimes they come back in August. It's just weird. Growing up in a place in Sunnyside, Panama City Beach, we never had them, do we, Dave?
No, I can't remember it. We've had mosquitoes and all that, but
you had the deer flies that come on the beach in May down here too that are really bad.
One of those flies we had a couple of years ago that just got over all the cars and then just were around for months.
Those are love bugs.
Love bugs. They came up to Troy.
Yeah, love bugs are down in South Florida
Yeah.
like forever and ever.
Yeah, but but they don't bite. They just mess up your windshield. They don't bite. At least I've never been bit by a love bug.
I have had a love bug bite me before.
Well, hey, anybody that has had a love bug bite them, raise your hand. There's nobody around here says.
I swear I've had 2 of them on my hand before, and one of them bit.
Yeah.
Well, you got the.
I thought they were too.
Too,
I thought they were too busy making love, Mike.
I think that's something.
I've got something in my blood that attracts insects. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think I might have the opposite, because sometimes when mosquitoes are biting a lot of people, like when you're sitting by the grill, drinking a beer, cooking out, and people are on the deck complaining about mosquitoes biting them, I'm not being bitten like everybody else.
Oh, I am. I went out the yard the other night and was picking up some kids' toys, and I looked down at my leg, and I had at least 5 on each leg.
What, mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes, yeah.
Oh boy,
See, I don't know. See, I think you're living down there in paradise in Florida, but now I'm thinking I'm staying away, man. And then you got the jellyfish in the ocean. And,
you got the jellyfish, you got the Portuguese man o' wars.
You got the crabs.
I went and fought off kicking a crab, a shell the other night when I was out with the girls, and I had a crab bite down on my toe.
Yeah, crab.
The picture removed for my toe.
Yeah.
The crabs will get you one. I mean, when they got you, did it hurt?
Oh yeah, it hurt. Made my toe bleed.
Yeah.
Look who here, Forrest Lee.
Forrest Lee, hey, and he's bringing some good, maybe some pecan or apple pie.
G.W. Long came back and won yesterday.
They did, and they're up 1 game to none. They win today. They win the championship. Our good buddy Forrest Lee brought us some pie in here today, so we don't want to make a huge scene, us trying to grab some pie this morning. You know, Mike, it's unreal how good the SEC is in baseball. You look at their records, and all of them have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Thank you, sir. He just comes in, gives us some of his famous pecan pie, and salutes, and is out of here.
Did you see some of these?
Forrest Lee.
Some of these records. Georgia's 33-18.
Yeah, they're all good. Except for Alabama.
Texas A&M and Vanderbilt 35-15. Golly, Ole Miss is 31-19. All of these guys have won more than 30 games.
I was doing my show prep before I came in and briefly read an article at AL.com. Saban is calling out some of these schools that he says are abusing this name, image, and likeness. And so you're having a war of words that's getting a little more impolite.
What is Saban's problem?
Well, he made the allegation that Texas A&M pretty much bought that #1 recruiting class.
Yeah.
He says, he explained it a little better. He says they create a collective, and that's all the business people in the state of create this collective, and they pour millions of dollars into it. They solicit money, and then that collective represents the players. And but who are they? So the collective is giving marketing deals to the recruits that Texas A&M wants.
Yeah.
And telling them, well, you're going to get 100,000, you're going to get 200,000. So it is just like almost outright booster buying.
And then for
players.
the guys,
all in the name of we're doing marketing deals through a collective agency.
And what do you say to the guy that didn't get any money? Why didn't I get any, coach? I'm your starting right guard or your starting right tackle. Should I put my name on the protocol and go somewhere else?
Yeah, that's probably comes up too.
Oh gosh, it's
Willie
ridiculous.
was going to transfer from Memphis yesterday. Looks like a pretty good player. He originally was playing at University of Texas San Antonio. Now he was at Memphis for 3 years. His name's Morris Joseph Jr. Had a good career at Memphis, though. Had 118 tackles. Looks like he had 19 for loss, 11.5 sacks. 175-pound defensive lineman will be transferring to Auburn. Auburn also got a transfer in from Iowa State. Starting safety Craig McDonald has transferred to Auburn as well.
Good. Well, a defensive lineman with 100 tackles. I mean, you don't hear about that.
That's right. That's something.
Yeah, that's throughout his career.
Oh, okay.
But
Auburn now has gotten 9 players to transfer. They also got a wide receiver who's originally Purdue at Trustful named Delalian Worsham out of Miami. A wide receiver is transferred into Auburn as well. So here comes Auburn.
But now this is not off the podium because they've already met the deadline. Is that right?
No, they just.
These guys are already in the portal.
I know, but all right, okay.
You got to declare to be in the portal, but once
by April the 29th.
But that has nothing to do when you go to make your decision.
Okay. Oh gosh.
So there's still all these players that are still in the portal and have declared that they want to be in the portal. They can still. They're just shopping around right now.
Yeah, but I mean, Troy's good. I mean, the guys that went to the portal for Troy, none of them were starters. I mean, Troy has got their core group of guys coming back, and just like Coach Summerall said, they're looking for players now. They've got about 8-9 spots they've got to fill.
So they'll be busy.
I don't know what in the world Alabama's going to do. They got about 22 spots. And only brought in about 5 transfers.
Yeah, they need more players.
So they're not even up to their 85 yet.
Not even close.
No, they got to hold it. They got to find some to hold some dummies.
Boy.
They got to bring in a ton of walk-ons.
That's right. You're exactly right.
It's really interesting because Alabama, they lose a ton to the draft early. Then you graduate some players. Then you have a ton that have transferred out. And you're supposed to start with 85. They're getting down to 50 scholarship players, and then they build it back up.
Yeah, like I heard a story the other day. Alabama went to go look at this junior college kid. I don't know, somewhere maybe up in Kansas or something like that. And out of the blue, that this tight end, they started watching this film. This tight end who was never even on their radar. They ended up falling in love with this kid. They give him a full scholarship. So this kid wasn't even on their radar when they went up to go look for a guy for next year. This guy ends up getting a scholarship to Alabama. So
oh gosh, isn't that unreal?
All kinds of crazy stories right now.
Yeah.
Well, the other team that Saban mentioned, he mentioned 3. Texas A&M, everybody's talking about them, and Jimbo Fisher is real sensitive about it. But so be it. Miami, Saban said, is going big into name, image, and likeness and offering deals to all their players. And then he talks about this player that was a 5-star prospect that went to Jackson State. That's Deion Sanders' school, right?
Yeah.
Deion and Saban do these Aflac commercials together, but Saban's calling out Deion's school, and Deion didn't like that at all. Saban said this one guy got a $1 million deal for going to Jackson State.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy,
It's one of those things, though. I mean, a lot of these guys are former Saban, pupils. Chris Paul coached under Saban, Jimbo Fisher coached under Saban. So I mean, they know the blueprint.
Well, Saban said that this is the model, and he was making remarks to a business person's group in Birmingham. Probably a bunch of wealthy business people, and he just said this is what other people are doing. He said if we're going to, I think he's kind of saying that if we're going to keep up in the future, we're going to have to do the same thing too. He said Alabama didn't pay any player or use the NIL to get any prospect, but I think his point is if this is the way it's going to be, we're going to need our own business group that forms a consortium, marketing group, and then use that marketing group to offer these players money.
But then at the same time, Saban probably has called them in, as he does, calls each player in and tells them what their status is. And he said, son, you need to get in the portal. So a lot of times they actually recommend that they get in the portal and if they're going to have a chance to play.
Auburn's biggest booster is Jimmy Rain. As far as I know,
hand me that paper, the paper
is not
underneath there.
name, image, and likeness for players.
Yeah.
That would be.
I mean, I know Bo Nix was Milo's T last year. I'm sure Milo's T's going after somebody again.
I wouldn't think a big prominent booster. They might want to stay out of it because it could, can backfire on you if it goes sideways.
And I'm going to tell you something, too, about Bo Nix. I would be willing to bet he'll be the starting quarterback at
Oregon?
At Oregon. Because this guy has still got a lot of winning left in him, I think.
I mean, if he has any kind of decent offensive line at Oregon, I mean, in the Pac-12, I think he'll be pretty successful.
And he's one of these guys that's got to hang in the pocket a little bit more than he does, But his speed and his oneness, he's got a lot of oneness about him.
I think he could play at the next level if he could develop better, at least 70% passing rating, in college.
In fact, I'm going to root for him hard.
He probably won't be that way in the NFL, but I mean, he's got a chance.
How many years he's got left? Does he have 2 years left?
If Jalen Hurts made it in the pros, I think Bo Nix will make it in the pros.
Yeah. But Bo's got 2 more years of college if he wants to. Is that right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, you watch. He'll do some wonderful things at a place that doesn't normally have wonderful things done to it.
I don't think he's a drop back passer though, like the NFL.
No.
I mean, he's gonna have to really improve in just hitting the high percent and making the safe, easy throws. I think he can be a really good, exciting college quarterback.
Yeah. Let me mention this morning. The Messenger has moved from their longtime residence here on South Frontage Street and has moved downtown. They'll want to go downtown, and they've got on the corner the old what's the name of that old building? Right.
The Chamber of Commerce was in it last.
Well, I know, but the building, that old building there, it's got a name for it, but it's located right on the corner of downtown Troy, right there across from the offices of Calhoun and Falk. Mm-hmm. And a great
location, man.
And moving into their previous spot on South Frontage Street is Town and Country Flooring. My good friend
they've been doing
Scott
a lot of work,
and they have turned that building around. So new faces, but and the locations change, but they're doing the same service.
I think it's a great move for both of them. It's great for the Messenger to get on the square with WTBF and the Messenger. Two media companies are on the square. That's good.
And then right across from them is coming to Troy, Alabama, a great barbecue place that we know all about.
And they're going to be on the square?
Hooks is moving on the square. They're not leaving their location on the bypass, but they are.
Two locations.
Yeah, they have 2 locations. I don't know if they're going to put a pit up. I want to say no, but we'll find out.
Well, that's great to have in downtown Troy, a great barbecue place.
Another great barbecue place. You're right. And
when I was growing up, we had Mark's Barbecue next to First Baptist Church, and a lot of my friends worked it there, and I used to love Mark's.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you this. I ate at Bird's yesterday, and I had the best hamburger. I'll put that hamburger up with lettuce, tomato, and onion.
All the way.
And no mayonnaise now, but ketchup and mustard. Ketchup and mustard.
They grill it like cast iron skillet?
No, I'm talking about Bird's. Yeah, Bird's cast iron skillet.
Cast iron skillet.
Yeah, and it is the best hamburger there is. I'm telling you, I'll put it up against anybody's. Bird Drugs on the square in downtown Troy. Now, I eat breakfast down there 2 or 3 mornings a week, and Jason, my good buddy, is going to be down there this morning. The scrambled eggs are scrambled with, what's my word there? Cracked eggs.
The cracked eggs. Yeah.
And they crack it and then scramble it. Well, scrambled eggs with cracked eggs, grits, hard toast with jelly, and the best bacon,
biscuits,
and the best bacon you have ever eaten in your life. And then at the same time, they've got that link sausage. So
a link sausage biscuit, which you brought me when we went to Montgomery.
Yeah.
That is really good.
yeah, with a little jelly on it and everything. But and then my wife yesterday for lunch, she had a egg. Well, let's see, an egg salad. Not egg salad,
Chicken
but
salad.
Chicken salad. She had chicken salad plate, and it was more than she could eat. It was stacked with fresh cut tomatoes.
That's one of their staples is chicken salads, and they got good pimento cheese.
Yeah, and tuna sandwich.
As hot as it is, I like the chicken salad and the pimento cheese on these hot days.
And something else they do well is a chili dog. If they've got, but they constantly are running out of buns and constantly are running out of wieners for the chili dog. But let me tell you, their chili dogs are excellent. I'm gonna just say this. If you want a great meal, you go to Bird's. It's a great place to eat.
You know, you don't find a grocery stores down here as much as Golden Flake products are not down here as much. Is Bird's Drug still have the Golden Flake chips?
Yeah, they have Golden Flakes, and I'll tell you something else that they have, Mike.
They sell a lot of Lance stuff too, I think.
Yeah, they do have a lot of Lance, but something else they have is my sausage, Mike. My sausage.
Conecuh sausage.
Yeah, but
No, not Conecuh.
I thought Kelly's changed their name.
Kelly sausage.
Yeah, they changed their name, but Kelly's is the sausage that you get at Bird's, and I'll rank Kelly sausage over Conecuh. Everybody talks about Conecuh.
Oh, Kelly's
What
is
Conecuh
fantastic.
doing is spending a lot of money on advertisement. The best sausage in the land is my buddy's at.
Isn't that where Emory Ellis works?
Yeah, that's where he works. He's the man for it. And
I'll tell you what you need to do, Dad. You need, next time you and Mom come to the beach, I saw where the Piggly Wiggly has those fresh shelled white peas, and my wife and I want about 3 or 4 bags of those.
Yeah, now you're talking, Michael.
well, they've got them already at Piggly Wiggly, and that's just one of those shell peas.
Some of those.
And also, if you are like, now what did he bring us over here this morning?
A
What
pecan, one of his famous pecan pies.
is that? What it is?
He brought it in the skillet?
In the skillet with 2
Is
plates.
it still hot?
Wow, that'd be good. You ought to take commercial break for that.
Well, I tell you what, it is good looking. We will definitely eat it. And Forrest Lee brought it to us, and boy, he's so good to us, bringing us good food. And yesterday he brought us some donut holes.
Well, I wonder what he's going to do this summer because they're getting ready to be out of school.
Yeah, I know, and he's got to find something to do.
Well, he
then.
always has projects. He's got
Yeah.
this show that comes on Monday night. And
Yeah, does a good job with that. And
He's probably going to be out there teaching kids how to shoot bow and arrow.
Well,
Yeah.
he's working on developing his archery program. He'll have some archery stuff going on, and he's doing this. He's a big gardener, and he teaches gardening at Pike Liberal Arts and has one at his house. So, but man, gardeners these days are having to run the water hose, aren't they? The sprinkler.
I was looking
I'll
at.
tell you what, it is brutal heat already. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in June and July and August.
I was looking at the.
Hey, did you see that? Talking about the heat, and we talked about Alabama and Texas are scheduled to play on September 10 in Austin on Fox Sports at noon on September 10th. So just imagine how hot. Well, there are fans in Texas that have organized a petition drive to get Fox Sports to change that game tonight. And I say, God bless them. Good luck.
And they would have a tremendous crowd too if they did it at night.
Well, you bring in people at noon on that field. I mean, it's going to be 110 degrees.
And I'm gonna tell you something else about.
Alabama's going to be the number 1 team in the country.
And nobody wants to play football at 12 or 11 o'clock Central Time.
In the early September is about the hottest time of year there is. Maybe July, August are right there.
That would be 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, that's way too early. People not even out of bed yet, you know.
Well, that's right. It's the game that comes on right after ESPN's College Game Day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but Austin is Central Time like we are, isn't it?
yeah, so it'll
Yeah,
be 12
right,
o'clock
yeah.
our time, but it'll be 11 o'clock.
You know,
Eastern time.
it would be everybody in the country would watch that game if it was that night. I hope they can do something about it.
I don't know, man. I kind of like that big game sometimes early in the morning. I kind of like Fox does that.
It's dangerous for the players. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for the fans. Have you been to one of those games before? I mean, the older people and going up those bleachers, and people will be falling out with heart attacks, heat strokes.
I've been to some games in Bryant-Denny, over the years. Shoot, you could barely sit there. It was so miserable. I mean, people are literally pouring water balls on their head.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't do it.
It's all about money. Don't let anybody fool you. It's all about money. So that's the
Alabama has in the past played these big games early in the year, but where have they played them? They played them in domes in or Atlanta, or they're air conditioned. So they've avoided. The players have avoided, and the fans have avoided the heat. But this ain't going to happen in Austin.
Of course,
the crowd, though, I think Texas Stadium holds over 90,000. I think Jerry World's like just around 80.
You want to mention before we get away from this GW Long game, they played today at 10 o'clock, and I tell you, a field that's getting a lot of exposure is Rudy Abbott Field, Jim Case Stadium, on the campus of Jacksonville State. They're getting a lot of fanfare, Mike.
Well, good for them. Somebody had to step up and host. I guess they ran into issues with Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery where the Biscuits playing, and apparently Patterson Fields is done.
Yeah.
So Oxford has a nice stadium, and then Jacksonville State's probably about 25 miles from Oxford. So
Boy, you said it with Patterson. I'm still upset with you talk about the heat. We went to that game in Pike LeBlanc game. I stood in line to get a Coke for Mike and I.
Yeah.
And the line was 25 people deep, and the line was moving about one customer every 5 minutes. I don't know why it was so hard to get Cokes and waters.
It was horrible.
And so finally, Luke Sanders and his daddy were there. They were up in the line, and they said, "We'll give us some money." No, they paid for it. They said, "We'll get you a Coke."
Did. Very nice, yes.
But I think really, if they hadn't have done that, I would have spent 2.5 innings of that ball game. 2.5 innings. I missed one inning trying to get a cold Coke because they had two workers, and they're like slogs. When somebody'd say, "I want 3 Cokes and 2 waters," then they'd say, "Okay." Then they'd walk as slow as they could way over to get the Cokes, and they'd come back and they'd say, "You got a credit card or cash?"
Yeah, it was unreal.
And so normally at a concession stand, you have about 5 people that are funneling them the Cokes, and let's go. Here it is. Get them out of there.
I talked to Johnny Williams, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, and he heads up the committee for sports in Montgomery County and surrounding counties.
Sports commission.
And he is responsible for his group is responsible for the big tournament next week in Montgomery, and that's going to be a super series. As the best teams in the Sun Belt play each other, and would Troy have any kind of chance, Mike?
No, you got to think Troy's done. You lose 8 in a row down the stretch. This one you're supposed to be playing your best baseball, and obviously Troy has no pitching left. I don't know what happened. I guess we should have known something when Rigsby Mosley came out of being a starting center fielder all conference to being a weekend pitcher for Troy. That was not a great sign. A guy that never pitched throughout his career. He's done a great job actually.
Oh, really?
They have right now. But Troy just doesn't have any pitching. So you got to have pitching to win a conference tournament. You know that.
They brought their center fielder in to pitch the other day. Did you know that?
Well, I mean, Rick Mosley was.
I know it. But then the other day they had a center fielder that they had to bring in.
Center fielders they brought in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they can bring in a backup catcher. Maybe he's got a strong arm. Maybe he can start pitching. I mean, I've never seen a Troy baseball team late in the season lose this many games in a row. It's kind of shocking. And Appalachian State's actually pretty good this weekend too. And they're going to go all the way to Boone, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, same things happened to Alabama's baseball team.
And
But Alabama's baseball team, I know that they've had some hard luck, close losses. Some of these Troy losses have been, a lot of them have been blowouts.
And ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's given up over 10 runs a game.
Yeah, you're right. And they just have not had it down the stretch here. I would like to mention this, that the baseball field, Riddle Pace Field, is being completely renovated. They'll be knocking the bleachers down soon, and all of that's going on. And they said that it will be ready for the season opener next year. So that's great.
Make the press box bigger. That was always kind of fun.
Yeah, they're going to make it.
Build that big enough.
That's right. They're going to enlarge that. They're going to enlarge coaches' offices, and they're going to add some boxes for the rich and the famous to use. And
Mike Amos?
Not me. Hey, listen, I'm on the fourth row.
You'd like to be out in the bleachers.
I'm the end seat on the fourth row, right behind the pitchers, man, and I just love it.
Maybe they can name that press box the Miller McKnight press box for Barry Miller, Barry McKnight. They've been calling baseball games for 20 years.
And they do a super job too. I tell you, we probably don't say enough about them, you know.
They always do. They do a fantastic job.
But again,
I'm always interested in Barry McKnight's brother. He's written for what, Sports Illustrated, right? He's done a lot of amazing things over the years.
Oh, really?
Trained with baseball players to hit home runs. So he hit a major league home run in a major league ballpark, like in batting practice. And then he also trained with a guy and learned how to dunk a basketball, like around 38, 40 years old. I wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know.
He's written some great stories. He writes long, interesting stories, and he is really good. That's Barry's little brother, and I think he lives out in Los Angeles. I think he is now with Sports Illustrated full time. He had written for several like he was a freelance writer. But he's had a lot of stories published in a lot bigger publications than me.
John Daly.
Kevin, did you read Kevin Skarbinski's article the other day? Kevin Skarbinski's a Troy grad, and of course wrote for Birmingham newspapers and worked at AL.com for at least 30-something years. But Kevin Skarbinski came out and wrote an article about how Mike Sly, the former SEC commissioner, saved his life. Mike Sly died of prostate cancer, and Kevin Skarbinski ended up going in for screening and ended up having cancer. He's fine now, but I hadn't seen anything for Kevin Skarbinski in a couple of years. He wrote an article about it the other day on AL.com.
Yeah, he left AL.com, and I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he is the best. Really, he was the best sports writer in Alabama, and he's a Troy grad.
It's a sad note, that all the great writers, and I mean, this is where most of the Birmingham's where most of them got their start, and no longer is there a daily newspaper in Birmingham.
No, I mean, we lost Cecil Hurt.
Yeah, lost Cecil.
Charles Hollis. Skarbinski, but what's happened is AL.com was bought by some big, huge media conglomerate. They did away with the newspaper. They've reduced the size of the staff just by 80%. And it's now a website, and they hardly cover anything. Their reporters don't even go to games. I've written them and say, why don't you do something on Pike Liberal Arts winning 6 straight state championships, or Drew Nelson's amazing run, and they don't even care. So, and then you got their lead columnist is a guy named Joe Goodman, who's awful. It's just downhill. It's kind of sad, isn't it, when you think about what it used to be? When you're Alf Van Heusen, Kevin Skarbinski, and Paul Feinbaum was with the Post-Herald.
That's where Baum got his start.
Ray Mellick. I could go on. What's the guy from that's with the Alabama High School Athletic Association?
Ron Ingram.
Ron Ingram was a great prep writer, high school writer from Brundage.
Yeah, it's really a shame.
Yes. Well, then the advertiser's the same. The advertiser used to have 4 or 5 sports reporters. I bet they don't have. They might have one today.
I hope that your brother will keep a sports writer though at the Messenger, so we can keep up with a local.
Well, if you don't say he doesn't, he's not too bright, because that's what people want to see is their kids' and daughters' names in the newspaper.
And speaking of local sports, Friday night 7:00 kickoff from Veterans Memorial Stadium right here in Troy is the Charles Henderson High School Trojans of Troy and the Robert E. Lee Generals, or should I say Lee Generals.
You're only going to be able to say it for
one of the top 7 programs in or 7A programs going up against the 5A Charles Henderson.
After this game, you're not going to be able to say Robert E. Lee Generals, because they are going to do away with the name Robert E. Lee after this school term.
And a great traditional school that has been very, very good over the years, and hopefully.
We haven't really talked about that. I mean, isn't it weird that you're going to have a Montgomery High School sports team without a Robert E. Lee High School, Jeff Davis High School, Sidney Lanier High School, all changing their names?
We're going to take a break. Brought to you by SARA, Southeast Alabama Rural Health Associates, located on the Elba Enterprise Highway, and also our good friends at Bird Drugs in downtown Troy for I can smell the bacon from here. We'll be back. Right? Hey, fix me some. Just scoop it up. Give me a scoop of that, man.
I'm gonna give you. Oh, we're on the air still. Steve, take other commercial.
Steve can't go to commercial. But we are fixing it.
All right, look at this. Here's what we got. Here's what we got, everybody. Pecan pie from Forest Lee.
Cooked on a hard skillet.
What do you call it? Cast iron skillet.
Cast iron skillet. And people everywhere would love to know that they could chow down to some of this today. But it's sort of hard to get to. But sometimes that's the best pie you can find when it's hard to get to. But
I'm messing it up.
I'm sure those are world famous Whaley pecans.
Yes, sir. I know they are.
He only uses Whaley.
Yeah, they sell Whaley pecans at the carousel.
That's good.
On here.
Right, that's enough.
That's enough pie, but
I can't eat it because I can't eat pecans anymore.
You can't. Why not? Why not?
I've got bioterritoriolitis or something.
Really, gosh.
And your nuts don't agree with me. So pecans.
Oh yeah, your nuts don't agree with me.
I love them. Popcorn's another thing I can't eat anymore.
Man, oh man.
Are you like one of those kids that you can't eat peanut butter?
I can't eat popcorn and
Boy, I love peanut butter. Man, these are wonderful. These pecans, these are wonderful.
Yeah, peanuts. I really need to be careful with peanuts, probably.
Man, that's another thing down here. I wish I could find somebody with some boiled peanuts down here.
Boy, people that love boiled peanuts love them.
This pie is delicious.
God, I'm addicted to them.
My wife loves them. My daddy used to love them.
We'll be back with more from Today in LA right after this. He must have gone fishing.
Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama, where not only can you get the best price on a new Ford, but we can also get you exactly what you're looking for. We all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Hey, I'm Quinn Hamright, head football coach and athletic director for Charles Henderson High School. Please come out and join us for the C Spire Troy Cable Spring Classic, May 20th, May 21st, as we take on Lee High School Friday night, May 20th.
On May 21st at 3:30, we have Hillcrest versus Selma. At 7 p.m., we have Flomaton versus Greensboro.
Games will also be live streamed on Troy Cable, Channel 2. Be there.
Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's healthcare to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill, but I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio just off the square in Troy.
Hey, Jim Jackson with Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC right here in Troy, Alabama, and we've got some exciting news for you. After a 2-year suspension, GM has now reintroduced the sold order process on the redesigned GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500. So come in and order yours today and not have to wait 6 months to get exactly what you want. So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
That's what we're trying to do.
We're back on the air, and Mike is eating Forest Lee's pecan pie, and he said it's the best pecan pie he's ever had.
We got a phone call.
Hold on. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Bill, it's Will Matthews. How y'all doing this morning?
Good. Let me put you on hold and get back to Michael. Stay with us, Will. All right, we should have Michael and Will.
Good morning.
Tell us what you think about the PGA Championship in Oklahoma, where the wind comes whistling down the plains.
I'm gonna give you a name, Bill. You like to bet on these things, I know.
Well, I make little $10 bets when I can get good odds on somebody. All right.
Well, I'm gonna give you a name you've never heard of, and I think he's gonna win the tournament.
Oh, well, it's almost too late because you got to get those win the tournament bets in and get the good odds before they tee off. But go ahead.
No, well, I don't think they teed off yet, but Taylor Gooch. There's 2 or 3 guys already on the second hole. All right, Taylor Gooch. He's leading right now. This is big news. The leader in the clubhouse right now after 2 holes is John Daly.
Oh, I love it. But he's the only one that played 1 hole.
Well, heck, I wish you would have told me that last night, Will. I would have put $10 on Taylor Gooch.
Yeah, Taylor Gooch. I'm sure he's.
Well,
Taylor Gooch.
I found some guy that just is sometimes.
I feel like Cameron Young too. Cameron Young's a hot pick. You mean Cameron Smith? No, Cameron Young. I don't know him. He's been in the top 10 a lot this year. He's a young player. Well, that one from Australia, I like him, the one that won the Players.
Yeah.
I think he's Cameron Smith.
Here's Cameron Smith.
Yeah, there's a Cam Young and a Cameron Smith. Yeah, they've started in Tulsa for the PGA.
I put a little action on Hovland and on Morcar. He always helps me out. I always put Sergio Garcia to finish in the top 20 in majors. My long shot pick was, for fun, was this guy named Peters, Pieters.
He's a good player. Thomas Peters is a very good player.
Well, I got 150-1 odds on him, so if he wins, I win $1,500 on a $10 bet. Let's see, Justin Thomas, I always put 10 on him. You can bet on people to make the cut. And so I picked all the best players to make the cut, but you got to pay negative odds on that. Like you risk.
What about Tiger Woods? What is his odds to win the tournament? 80-1.
I think it was
65-1, maybe.
No, I think it was lower than you would think. It might have been.
Well, I think Michael's right because I read somewhere somebody in Las Vegas put $20,000 on Tiger to win the tournament, and they're going to get $1.2 million.
Well, they might. His odds to make the cut I bet him not to make the cut because you told me yesterday he might not make the cut because of the heat, and his odds to not make the cut are 115. So that means you bet $10, and if he doesn't make the cut, you win $11.50.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll take Stuart Sink to beat Tiger Woods to have a better score than Tiger Woods.
You can make those type bets
from
too.
From Florence, Alabama.
You can only make those bets if they give you a matchup of it.
Yeah, they give you some matchups, but they pick the matchups. You're right.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, and I've said it about like this is the best pecan pie I've ever put in my mouth. It is wonderful.
Forrest Lee could win a pecan pie cook-off.
I'm telling you.
Tiger Woods went off today at 50-1 odds.
Okay. He tees off Michael at 8-10, I think.
Yeah, you'll better watch it. You'll better watch this whole round if you have ESPN Plus.
Let me tell you another little trivia question. Scotty Scheffler had won.
He's the favorite.
He had won $10,299,000. The next person to him is this year.
Yeah.
The next person to him had won $4,400,000.
Well,
he had dominated the money.
That's chump change. Didn't we learn that Phil Mickelson had been given $25 million in guarantees to support the Saudi Arabia?
He plays all 8 events. Yeah. What did you think about Nicholas? Came out and told the media this week, Will, that the Saudis offered him $100 million to be over that tour.
I'd have had to take that. I'd take $100 million.
You're right.
I don't know how anybody passed up $100 million. I don't know how anybody passed up $10 million.
Well, he did it.
I mean, Nicholas at 82 years old did that. How many guys at 82 years old get that kind of offer?
None, but he's the greatest golfer of all time, so that,
Yeah,
he would give that tour instant credibility.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, interesting to see. I read an article this week. I mean, he's not a very good player anymore, but he's an extremely popular player. Ricky Fowler has talked about maybe playing in that league now, too.
You know,
a few young guys that want to play and name guys. I mean, the biggest thing for me, though, with this tour is no television network has come out and announced to say they're covering it.
Yeah.
And the first event is 2 weeks away.
Yeah, the networks are
Michael, the networks are scared of the PGA because they're scared, they won't get to cover the PGA anymore if they cover this bunch.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, what in the world? I mean, is this going to be on pay-per-view? How are you going to watch this tournament?
You're right.
I bet your Bubba's going to switch over, too. What would y'all say?
I bet no. The tea leaves are the narrative is this is toxic and stay away from it. And I don't think anybody's.
I mean, I don't even know another sports network that can pick it up.
Yeah, I mean you got
Maybe Fox Sports Network, that FSN, maybe they would. I don't know.
What we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, and explain.
Fox covers golf too.
All right, one of y'all explain exactly what y'all are talking about.
We've been talking about it for weeks. Greg Norman got a new startup tool.
I know it, but I just want people to hear it right now.
They've got the Saudi Arabians are giving an ungodly amount of money for people to participate and play. Last place in each tournament makes $130,000. It's like I think 54 players in each field. You only play 3 days. The prize winnings are just through the roof. They're going to play 8 events, starting in London, I think in 2 weeks. It's the first event, and the last event at the Rao, Trump's course that he owns. It's just a new startup golf league, and they're trying to recruit players from the PGA Tour, but the PGA Tour is not granting their releases. So now, there's all kinds of issues going on. Who's going to jump ship? Everybody thinks 100% Nicholson's gone to this event.
Well, here's why it's toxic. I mean, anybody can, the USFL can start another league, and that's not, and networks cover it. Here's why it's toxic. It's the Saudi Arabian money, and the number one prince in Saudi Arabia, the guy Salim bin
Lights golf.
Well, he wants golf, and he wants to promote his country. But he also ordered the assassination of a journalist he didn't like, a dissident.
Oh boy!
And he went in. This is how this journalist died. This happened, Mike. They coaxed him into a consulate so he could get some kind of a passport and marry his wife. While he was in there, they drugged him. This was a hit squad that was sent from Saudi Arabia, and they killed him and they cut his body up in that room and dispersed the body. They have never found his body parts, but there's video of him going in, and they have admitted that this guy died, and everybody in the world knows who orders his death. And it's like you can't talk about it. It's this prince that controls these hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, I want to stop talking about it because they might watch our channel.
You're right. I mean, it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah,
but so that's when now people.
I don't know anything about it. Hey, I don't know anything about it.
Well, now you're understanding why when people say Phil Mickelson is supporting not this tour, he's supporting those type people.
Oh man.
So that's what's really behind it. Am I correct, y'all? That have been keeping up with it?
Well, it remains to be seen.
All this has been out in public records for years. I mean, this is knowledge. It's not just been announced on today in LA.
Let me say another thing too. They're going to take the top 25. They're going to have just 25 golfers in the league, or what?
No, they want more than that.
54. Okay, 54.
Well, then that's also.
You're gonna have like Sergio Garcia. You're gonna have Louis Saban. I've heard who will be the top player in the world. And Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Mickelson. You'll have some senior guys probably come over and play. Ernie Els probably want to play in it. Patrick Harrington will probably want to play in it.
Yeah, a lot of Europeans.
Have, some European tour players. You'll have some players off the Asian tours. I mean, you'll have some good players. You'll have a lot of good players in their 40s. Bubba Watson's been playing in a herd.
Well, then you've got this Saudi Arabia. Have you ever been to Saudi Arabia?
No.
Well, I mean, you go to Saudi Arabia, you know what you're not going to see? You're not going to see any women driving a car, because they cannot drive a car. They behead people for being homosexual, or it's just a completely different operation that that's their system.
But these tournaments are not going to be played in Saudi Arabia.
I know, but the whole money that we're talking about, this $100 million going to Jack Nicklaus and 25 to Phil Mickelson, it all comes from these rulers of Saudi Arabia, and so they're actually criticizing the Saudi Arabian system.
Well, let's bring this one in, Rice.
Well, let's see. Hello. That must be Will.
There we go.
Is that Michael?
Will.
You got me.
How about Will? Is he around?
He got cut off.
Okay. Of course, we got a lot to talk about. One thing is
Scotty Scheffler's 11-1 odds. John Rahm's 11-1. So they're both the favorites as the PGA Tour stars. Roy McIlroy and Justin Thomas are both 14-1. You get really good money with Jordan Spieth. I feel like at 20-1. I think he's the guy that's probably going to win it.
What do you get with Homer though? Homer was really good his last outing.
Max Homa, yeah.
What can you get him? What can you get him for?
I put 10 on him.
Wow,
Let's get
55-1.
Hey buddy, that's who I'd take a shot at.
Yeah, I like that. And that's Pike County's license plate number.
Yeah, look, I got a $1 bill. Will you put that dollar on him? What would $1 make?
$55.
$55.
Hold on.
Got.
Hold on.
There we go.
Hey, are y'all both here?
Yeah, I'm here. I dropped off. I hit a bad spot.
Will Matthews, our judge from Ozark, Alabama. And, of course, the Matthews Law Firm has supported this show for years, and we appreciate him. And, of course, Will Matthews. Love hearing what he has to say, especially golf. And
I tell you what, Will, your cousin, Doug Barron, is playing great golf late in life. And, you only got to play 3 rounds in this new LIV golf league. I mean, he's one of the better senior players. Would he try to make the jump?
No. I don't think they're taking senior players.
I mean, you would have to take legendary senior players. You take Ernie Els, Patrick Harrington, guys that have won, Harrington's won 4 majors, Els has won 4 majors.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Mickelson's a senior player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
I think Nicholson, he won the PGA last year, and of course he's not defending this year, which is, hard to believe. But, he won 4 out of 6 senior major events. So I'm sure Nicholson saw that, and he probably came up, said to himself, I can still win on PGA Tour, but we need a new league that I can play in before I want to even play the senior tour. He's probably looking to play this until he's about 55, and then maybe he can go play the senior tour after that.
Yeah.
Well, it sure has stirred up a fuss. I get why some people might want to play 54 holes with guaranteed money. Here's the thing I've always liked about golf. It's different than baseball and professional sports where you got a guaranteed contract. In golf, to make money, you've got to make the cut and be high on the leaderboard, right?
Right. You don't get anything if you miss the cut.
You lose
down
money.
the road.
You lose money, a lot of money, because you had all those expenses.
Oh, yeah, certainly. You're correct.
Well, you almost did it. I mean, you had to look into, all right, how much hotel rooms cost, travel, if you like a lot of these guys, you miss 6 or 7 cuts you don't make the cut 6 or 7 times in a row. That's high stress.
Bill, when I got out of Andy, I had 3 options. One option, I was offered the golf coaching job at Ole Miss, but back then they didn't pay anything. But they were going to pay me $30,000 a year plus pay my law school at Ole Miss. I could go to law school and coach the golf team. I really wanted to do that. I wish I should have done that, really. But I went to Alabama instead. And the other option was to go to Q school and try to play on the PGA Tour. Back then, there was no Corn Ferry Tour. And in order to make money, you had to be on the top 60 of the PGA Tour, 60 players. And, I didn't know if I could make the top 60, but the 60th guy was making $50,000 a year.
That was big money back then, wasn't it?
You can make more money practicing law than that. Plus, you don't have to pay for hotel rooms and gas and whatever traveling. It's just a tough life, basically, doing that. You gotta love what you're doing and be good too.
Who was the Feinstein? John Feinstein wrote a book called A Good Walk Spoiled. You probably read it. And it's about these journeyman PGA players and all the stress they have trying to get their tour card and then keep it, because then you got to keep it. If you don't win enough money, they take it away and you can't play. So it's not as high pressure as it used to be, but it's so much different than the player that in baseball that has a couple of good years and then he gets a 6-year contract for $30 million and no worries.
They got those shell peas. They got those shell peas on sale.
Michael, look up and see how much money Brian Gay has made on the tour.
Brian Gay.
You're right? The headlines of ESPN right now is they interviewed Nick Saban last night in Birmingham, and he said, we were second in recruiting last year. Saban told the audience A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. We didn't buy one player, all right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because of more and more people are doing it. It's tough. So he flat out just went after A&M last night. This is all over ESPN right now.
Oh, yeah, they'll blow up. That's going to be the story. It'll be good to watch and listen to Feinbaum this afternoon.
Brian Gay is not in the top 40 of the FedEx. This is FedEx.
He's on the senior tour now.
Yeah, Gay is?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I didn't see that. I don't have any that information.
He's only played like 3 tournaments on the senior tour, and he finished in the top 10 twice, I know.
Yeah.
So,
I followed Colin McCrary's old roommate and good friend, Ben Bates, that played golf at Troy University.
Yeah.
He went pro like Will almost did, but he had the Nike Tour, which has changed names about 100 times.
yeah.
But he played on all these minor league tours and just barely scratched out a living somehow for years and years and years. Well, I think back then, if you got in the top 12 of the Nike Tour, you got promoted and got your tour card. And then they had the big last Nike Tour tournament in Auburn at the Robert Trent Jones course, and Ben Bates, like he was 38, 40 years old, late in his life, darn if he doesn't do well enough for that tournament to finish in the top 12, and he gets to his PGA Tour card. And so he gets to play for, I don't think it's for 2 years, and actually I don't think he kept it. I mean, it's hard to get it, so, he can say he was a PGA golfer and he made a little money, but that just shows what a tough, like Hunter Hamrick tried to do that. It's tough, man.
It's tough. It's tough. Now, I'll tell you some people in our area that have played the PGA Tour. Ronnie Mobley played on the PGA Tour, and he never made a lot of money on it, but he did play on it. And I think Ricky Beck might have played on it 1 year.
Yeah.
Now, Sammy Rachel's from Defuniak Springs. I don't know if y'all heard of him.
I'm very familiar with him.
He was very successful on PGA Tour until he had back trouble.
Rachel's is from Defuniak.
He won the Brenos Memorial Classic.
Sure did. I was there.
Thinking about,
Yeah.
Yep. And anyway, he could a card, but he had bad back trouble. And I'll tell you something funny. I played in Troy, had a 3-person scramble one time, and I played with Sammy Rachel's wife, Tia, and Tim Mitchell, who played at Troy, and me, and we won the tournament. And we didn't win the tournament because of Tim and I. We won the tournament because of Tia, because they had the ladies tees up so far, we were hitting sand wedges to par 5s.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Brian Gay has won $24 million.
Oh my gosh.
How about that?
Yeah. From Daleville, Alabama.
That's right.
No boy.
I was going to put a little bet on Jason Dutzner. He didn't show up on my board.
Yeah.
And he's in the field.
Yeah, I saw he
He
did
had
the
won the
field.
PGA tournament before.
Yeah.
DeChambeau pulled out yesterday, too, so Bryson decided not to play coming off his hand injury.
Yeah.
Well, I hate that.
Well, it's supposed to be real hot out there today and tomorrow, but then it's going to get in the 70s, low 70s for some reason, Saturday and Sunday. So a cold play.
Taylor Gooch. Remember that name.
All right, and also, if you were over there, you'd be watching this Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, and Tiger Woods threesome. They tee off at 9:11. And is that Central or Eastern time?
Who televised it?
That's Easter. Tiger's fixing to tee off in about 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be watching that one close.
If you have ESPN Plus on the streaming service, you can watch the whole round of Tiger, Jordan Spieth, and McIlroy.
Yeah. And,
because he's never won the PGA, but I'm afraid he's jinxed. I don't think he'll ever win the PGA.
Jordan or Roy?
Jordan. Palmer never won the PGA. Tom Watson never won the PGA, and they won everything else.
Roy, from watching the Golf Channel, the book on him is he starts slow. He doesn't get good starts in his first round and the first 2 rounds, and then he finishes strong, but he's got to play better in these first early rounds.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's hard to believe, Bill, how he does. You're right. He shot 64 last year.
Yeah.
Well, you got your own tournament you're in this weekend. You going to do well in that?
I think so. I'll tell you what I'm doing, Mike. I had not played any golf at all. And about 6 weeks ago, and one of the young pros, and this guy played golf at Auburn, and he gave me some tips, and I started lifting weights. And yesterday I shot a 72 at the Open Country Club, the best round I've had in 2 or 3 years.
Oh, man, that is something.
Oh, that's awesome, Will.
Will, what's in Will Matthews' bag? What are your clubs? What do you hit?
You don't hit regular irons much, do you?
I use King King irons, and my driver's tailor-made, and I've got a Scotty Cameron putter, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I've got a sand wedge I've played with 20 years.
My dad told me when I was growing up that I should play a approach iron. Does anybody use approach iron?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Sort of just try to advance the ball.
I was watching the Golf Channel last night, and Brandley and Faxon is their new guy on the Golf Channel, and they showed that they've remade these greens a little bit, and they slope off. So people, if you don't have the right spin, the ball is going to roll off 20 yards or 30 yards from the putting surface.
Yeah.
And then they illustrated all the ways you could play that next shot. You could putt it. You could do a little chip and run into the hill, or you can take a real lofted wedge and fly it up high to the hole. It was real interesting. So they're going to have to make some decisions on how to play these shots.
Bill,
Yeah.
and it's one of the most difficult courses I've ever played. It had narrow fairways, high rough, the greens were light and fast. Well, for this tournament, they said the fairways were 4 to 50. And
We're having a hard time hearing you.
all they've got. And then you got these Ross. I think they could run this thing alive this week. And if you get into 20 under par on the door. It's not going to be a you know, when I played it, if you hit it in the rough, you take a sand wedge and knock it out, and that's about all you could do.
Yeah, when Tiger won several years ago, I think the winning score was 7 or 8 under. So they feel like it's going to be a lot more than that this year.
And Michael, he shot that in one round. He had a 63 in that tournament, and that's all he did. I mean, shot even par the rest of the way.
Explain to people when you're watching a golf tournament, Will, when they come on the stint meter, the greens are running 12, 13, 14. Explain to somebody what that's really like, trying to putt on some greens like that.
All right. The stint meter is it's a device. You pick it up, and the ball rolls down a metal kind of slope thing, and it hits the green, and they measure the distance from when it hits the bottom until it stops. And God, back when I played, the stint meter was probably 8 feet or 9 feet. Now it's like 12 to 15 feet, and that's on a flat surface. When they run the stint meter at Augusta National, there's only one green on that course they can do it on, and that's 14. That's the only flat part of a green they can do that. Augusta's greens are so sloped. Well, it's kind of like Troy's got some greens that are sloped.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, old number 3 actually would be number 12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah, 12 used to be 3.
And that's if you hit it above the hole, and if you don't go, and then if you make your putt, if it doesn't go in the hole, it's going to roll off the green.
That's true.
But it's amazing how you can remember stuff like that.
Mike, I can remember this course at Southern Hills. I hit a 1-iron off the tee probably 75% of the time because it was so narrow.
Now
the fairways were 20 yards wide.
Yeah.
Now they're 40 to 50 yards wide.
A lot of people said not even Jesus can hit a 3-iron. I mean a 1-iron.
That's what Trevino said. God can't hit a 1-iron.
Trevino won.
He got struck by lightning one time. He said ever since then, he just pulls out a walk and holds up the sky to get to his clubhouse.
He won the PGA at Shoal Creek, didn't he? In 1984?
He did. He did.
What if is there a bet on a non-American winning the tournament?
Yeah, you can make that bet.
You can make that bet. I'll make that bet. I'll make that bet.
John Rahm and McIlroy are big favorites.
Yeah.
Hovland, a lot of people, Hovland's got low odds for some reason. But you can bet Asians, you can bet Europeans, you can bet non-Americans, making the cut, top 5, top 20, winning.
You can bet one of the top 9 players is a bet. One of the top 9 players in the world you can best. If one of those 9 guys just...
And then they have groupings where they match, 5 players kind of randomly about who's gonna win among these 5 players.
Victor Hovland, he's very young. He played at Oklahoma State, so I'm sure he's played this course a bunch of times.
I bet he did.
They had a big feature story on Oklahoma golf on the Golf Channel, and I knew Oklahoma State had a great golf program, but I didn't know it was that great. I mean, they're the dynasty of college golf, aren't they?
Let me ask you something, Will. Will, I wanted to ask you something about Bubba, Will. Did he have a chance? And tell us about Bubba.
Bubba has been slumping, so I don't think he's got a chance.
Yeah. So he used to.
Bubba needs to keep on revitalizing downtown Pensacola and pouring money into that. He's done a wonderful job with that.
What, he owns a lot of buildings downtown?
Oh, yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff in Pensacola. I mean, it's made it really nice.
And
Bubba, I think you'll see play on that new tour. I mean, he's the type of guy that could win millions and millions of dollars on that tour.
Yep, that's made for somebody like him. You're right. And he's got the name and the charisma that they would love to have him, and then he could, he could be competitive on it too.
Let me mention this. Next week are the finals in Vanderbilt won the SEC. They won their regional, and they're going to the finals. They're in Arizona next week. And Oklahoma's ranked number 1 in the country. Vanderbilt's ranked number 2 in the country.
yeah.
So it should be interesting.
Rice, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to. I don't do this much, but I want to take Max Homa. I want to put $50 on Max Homa.
Okay.
$50.
Well, it's too late for him to win the tournament, but they have odds later that they adjust every night after the rounds.
I don't know if he's teed off yet.
That's right. I want Max Homa. Max Homa actually tees off.
At what time?
I had it just a moment ago.
The show is sponsored by MGM.
This show is brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need.
On Max Homa.
I really do. And I had him signal in right here, and I lost him.
What time does Tony?
No, here it is. Max Homa goes off at 8:49.
Well,
He's already teed off.
I could leave right now and maybe go back to my computer.
He's already teed off.
Well, if you get a chance, put me down for Max Homa. No, just forget it. If you won't be able to get
They
in.
did a feature story on him on golf, and I put some heat on him.
Yeah, he really played dominant golf the last time he played.
Here's where I put my little $10 bet on Homa. A huge odds to be the top American finisher.
Max Homa's played 1 hole. He's even.
And I'll tell you something else. Watch Stewart sink. In fact, what kind of odds could I get with Stewart?
Those would be huge odds.
All right, but what like what?
Like 200 to 1. 200. I mean, you could make a $10 bet and make.
Bet if you get a chance, put $10 on Stewart sink. Stewart sink.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael, look and see how old Stewart's thinking. He's got to be at least 49.
He is, I think.
Stewart sink. Yeah. Well,
He's 49.
you know, he's from Florence.
He turned 50.
Pretty soon.
I'd have to look and see.
You know, he plays tournaments like this pretty
I think
well.
he won one tournament last year, and he was 48.
He did.
So he ought to make him about 49 this year.
Yeah.
So he's not far from the senior tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we want to wish the Lady Raiders of Houston Academy for winning the state championship, and Rehoboth's still in it, along of Skipperville still in it, softball, and of course G.W. Long playing for the state championship in baseball. So, and then we also got a team from Luverne that's done real well, and they're still in it, and good luck to them.
My wife
And Brantley, what?
Stewart Sink will be 49 in
And you say he's already scored, or the?
He's 48.
Well,
Okay.
all right.
He'll be 49 in 2 days.
Yeah, look.
John Daly is 1 under after 4 holes.
Well, that's great. That's great for him.
He was in Birmingham, wasn't he, last week? I heard him. Feinbaum interviewed a lot of those. He went to the tournament and he interviewed John Daly. So John Daly was smoking during the interview.
Was he really?
He got disqualified for some reason during the tournament.
It might be for smoking on the course.
You don't know. He smokes on the course. He don't care. He don't give a crap. If he does a TV interview with a cigarette.
He didn't sign his card after the round. They disqualified him.
Now, how about old Bubba? Bubba's tees off at 9:22. He's already gone off.
You know, John Daly's son is a good golfer, and I think Daly and his son won the father-son tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
And in this interview with Feinbaum, Daly said that his son, who I think is 17 or 18, is going to go to Arkansas, I think, to be a college golfer at Arkansas, like his daddy did.
That's
but
right.
His son has...
Soy pig.
Well, his son has signed one of these NIL deals.
Oh, really, guys?
As a golfer.
His son's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
He's at Arkansas.
Yeah. Want to mention the Charles Henderson High School football game tonight, or Friday night, from our stadium here, and of course, good opportunity to see what kind of football team you got going up against 7A Robert E. Lee. So Charles Henderson and Robert E. Lee play football at the stadium this Friday night.
Coach Hembrick's second year. They got
I'm impressed with
a lot
them.
of players coming back that were played a lot last year. They were young guys. I think they won 2 games last year, but the expectation is this year there should be marked improvement.
And Rice, something I've done a little research in. They've got 5 kids that have big D1 opportunies.
5, wow.
5.
Well, Hambright was on our show the other day. He said the receiver that's going to be a junior.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He's a Division I big-time prospect.
Yeah, he's only junior. You're right.
He said there's a they got a defensive lineman, which Coach Hambright said he's a freshman, so he'll be a sophomore next year. He said last year he was the best freshman defensive lineman in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I know it.
Then they've got a running back that is 210 pounds that can squat 515 pounds.
Yeah.
That Auburn Cadillac Williams was just down here looking at. So that's 3.
Yeah. Will, what time does your bunch tee off this weekend on Saturday? He's already left us, I think. But
No, I'm here. You mean when I'm playing golf?
Yeah. Aren't you playing in a tournament this weekend?
Yes. I play 8:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah. And so we wish you a lot of luck in that. And of course,
I wonder how many tournaments Will has played in his life. I mean, I've played in like 2, and I get super nervous. But you must have played in 200.
Bill, one summer I played in 9 4-balls or in a summer with Tim Mitchell. Now, Tim played at Troy. He's younger than I am. He's a very good golfer still. And we won 8 of the 9 tournaments we played in.
Yeah. Is he related to our automobile dealer down there?
No, he's from South Africa.
Oh, okay.
He came to the United States to play golf at Wallace and Dothan.
I remember that. Yeah.
And they were like number 2 in the country. And then he went to Troy and played at Troy for his last 2 years. And he works at Southeast Medical Center.
I got you.
And has for years.
All right, that sounds good.
What kind of odds can I get on Will Matthews tomorrow?
Oh, I tell you what, I played good yesterday. If I play like that yesterday, I'm gonna do well.
What now?
Do y'all play a certain amount of holes? Y'all play a little wager here and there?
This is a 2-person scramble.
Yeah.
And I don't know who I'm playing with. They'll put me with somebody.
Well, wish you
That's
a lot
all.
of luck.
When I play golf, that's all I do is play in scrambles.
What casino are you staying at?
Silver Slipper in Bay St. Louis.
the Silver Slipper Casino.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well,
And it's in Bay St. Louis on the water. It's beautiful.
okay, well, thank you so much for all that information, Will, and we always look forward to hearing from you. Best of luck to you this weekend. And, of course, we've got a lot of softball still to talk about. Of course, we'll be talking about that tomorrow on the show, and hopefully we can bring home another state champion with Rehoboth as one of the teams that's out there in softball, and also G.W. Long trying to win a softball and a baseball championship.
You had Brantley and Lou Byrne still playing.
Yeah, Brantley and Lou Byrne. Titletown might get another trophy, and
I'll make y'all a guarantee. Brantley will win the 1A softball girls.
yeah. If they've got another great pitcher like Johnson who pitches for Troy, they'll have a good chance.
They've got a girl on there 13 years old that's being recruited by every team in the SEC.
Isn't that unreal?
She's 13.
Isn't that something? I tell you what, softball is a big sport. It is a popular sport by maybe the most popular sport out there.
They beat Houston Academy in Dothan, and Houston Academy won the 3A yesterday.
That's right. You're exactly right, Will.
Wow. Well, keep us posted on this young lady. We got to find out more about her.
Her name is Anna Claire Free, and her big brother came to Troy as a quarterback that transferred from Vanderbilt. And then
That's right, yeah.
I can't remember his name. Free, something Free.
Yeah.
Jacob Free.
Jacob Free.
Jacob Free.
He's coaching at Strawn High School now. He's coaching at Strawn.
Okay.
That's what he's doing.
I thought he'd really be a good player.
He was.
I think there was one game Troy's quarterback got hurt, and he came in and played a super game.
He beat Arkansas State like no Troy teams ever beat them. I mean, beat them to a pup.
But Arkansas State only won 3 games that year.
Yeah, but they were good though. You still didn't go to. They went to Arkansas State and he beat them like that.
His best game is when he came and led Troy back against Coastal Carolina, and Troy took the lead, and then Troy gave up a touchdown with less than a minute left.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought he's funny that he could have been in the running for playing time or maybe start last year, and then he just decided to go in the. He decided to go into coaching.
Of course, next week, ladies and gentlemen, the baseball playoffs in college start, and Troy is hosting. I reckon you'd say they were hosting the big tournament in Montgomery, which starts next week.
It's just Montgomery.
Yeah, the Montgomery. Yeah.
Look at this in the Dothan Eagle. It says local golfers record a hole-in-one, and we're talking to the man that's got how many hole-in-ones you hit, Will?
15.
15. Did any of them make the newspaper?
Oh yeah, my last one did.
Yeah, probably one of the older guys to win hit a hole-in-one.
Well, what's funny, I had 13 hole-in-ones when I turned 40 years old. I didn't have any hole-in-ones for the next 20 years. And I've had 2 since I turned 60.
Oh, man.
15. You've got as many hole-in-ones as Tiger has major championships.
You know, maybe Tiger will win this week, and I'll get another hole-in-one.
The people on the golf channels or y'all were telling me that Tiger might actually have a chance in the British Open, which is the next major.
You know, he won there about 20 years ago at the old course.
Yeah.
And the old course is wide open. I mean, every fairway is 100 yards wide. So, you know, that takes the driver. That's always been his problem, is spraying the ball every now and then.
You know, I want to mention
Great iron player, great putter, great chipper, everything else. So, who knows? He might win it.
All you Braves fans, the TV schedule is out on today, the 30th, and it's in the Dothan Eagle, the Braves' whole schedule for the rest of the through June, and it looks like a fun schedule. So there's still people that are interested in watching the Braves, and you can sure do it on Valley Sports South.
I listened
to them on the radio. They blew a game last night that makes you throw up.
Did they really? What happened?
Their starting pitcher's throwing a great game. It's 4-0, and they took him out. And they take him out, and the Braves bullpen blows the game, and they lose it in the 11th inning.
That's what happens.
Oh
man.
God. Oh, that's awful.
But the starting pitcher for the Braves pitched a great game. They take him out, and Milwaukee tied it in the ninth. And they go to the 11th, and the Braves score to go up by 1. And there's a guy on base with 2 outs, and they bring in a rookie that just got called up, and he bombs it over center field fence for a home run.
Yeah, his name Hurrah.
Well, it sounds like you watched the game, Will.
I did. It made me sick.
Yeah. You didn't have any money on the game, did you?
No.
Okay.
I've never bet on baseball before.
I call you pitcher of interest in the state softball championships. Rehoboth pitcher Shelly Littleville. Her name is Littlefield, yeah. She's pitching for the state championship in Oxford today.
They wear those helmets, which is actually makes sense.
Yeah, pitcher, yeah.
Because that mound is so close to the home plate that a line drive right back could hit you in the face.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and we will see you tomorrow bright and early for Today in L.A. See you.